Good morning, guys.
Hey friends, and welcome back.
So we're at BC Provincial Park just outside of Vernon, BC, and it's this really cool campground that's like on the cliffs overlooking the beach and water, and the beach, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. We'll go check that out later.
Yep.
But first, we got some problems.
We're getting to the tail end of the heat wave here. Happy Canada Day and Independence Day to you all. But it's been super hot lately and our fridge hasn't been getting as cold, so got some diagnostics to run. So we popped off the fridge cover here, and we've been noticing lately that our fridge hasn't been getting as cold when it runs on propane. Whenever we're at a hookup site, which we've been doing a lot more this year, we've noticed the fridge still gets super cold, freezing cold sometimes in fact, so it's still doing everything it should with the gases working through, but on propane, it's been getting up to like 8, 9, 10 degrees sometimes, especially during the heat wave. So what we've been reading and what we think might be happening is there's a spot where the burner down below heats up with gas and it heats the tube, which is what powers it all, and we think that that may have a little bit of debris buildup. Ideally we want to clean out with a little steel brush. We don't have one right now, so we're just going to check in and diagnose it, but if that's the case, the gas isn't going up enough and then the tube's just not getting hot enough to power the fridge well, because the electricity heats the tube, and then that's when it runs fine. So we're gonna pop all of this off inside the fridge here and see if anything is glaring and standing out at us at least. Now that we've got that base plate off, I think we just have one screw here that should pull this off and access the burner here now. Alrighty, we've got the burner exposed here now, and we can see where the propane gas goes up and lights it up. So we're gonna actually turn the fridge back on, look at the flame without the cover on, and just see how kind of big the fire is and how it looks. And then we'll try and get a little bit of a cleaning and see how it looks after. So here goes nothing. That flame honestly looked a little better than I was expecting it to look. We also heard I'm going to try and bang this tube here and see if any dust and stuff falls out. It's kind of like a chimney where when it gets hot there can be a bit of buildup in there as well. So hit that, see if anything falls out, and then I think we're still going to pull the burner out, try and clean it out a bit and see if we can get that flame even a little bit bigger, but it was pretty good. So we don't have like a little steel wire brush, but we do have a straw cleaning brush on us. So I'm going to run that inside of the little gas tube there, and I'm going to try and stick it up in the chimney there too and give it a little sweep around, see if just right where the flame goes up maybe has any debris built up there as well. But hopefully this makes a difference. Honestly, it wasn't as dirty and corroded as I thought it might be. They say ideally in the manual they want you to do it every year. Of course, that's what the manual wants you to do. I don't know how many people do this yearly, but something you should check into once in a while, especially when you start having warmer fridges like we're having. So, brush came out a little bit dirtier, so it took out some of the rust inside at least. Like I had mentioned, the vents where the gas comes out actually had pretty good gaps in between them still, but there should be a bit more flow through there now. I also used the screwdriver and just kind of raked along the grates just in case there was a slight closing, because I imagine every little bit makes a difference, of course. So we're going to put this all back together now, light it up, and see how the flame looks.
Alright, so Luke's got the fridge back together, so it's just like a waiting game to see if it's gonna get cold again or not. I really hope it does, but honestly, the flame didn't look that bad, and it didn't like really make much of a difference when we tried cleaning it. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Chloe's taking a nap though, so we're gonna play some crib finally.
Ooh, what a game of crib. So, it was Alysha's crib at the end, and she also had the first crib, so I think that means that I would count first for points, and then I would have won. But we both had enough points in our hands to make it to the end before we're even counting our cribs, so I don't think you get much more of a draw than that. So I think we're going to call it a draw here. Neither of us could peg to the end before getting to the card counting phase. I was off by like 1 point, but what can you do? Good game of crib. Sun is coming out, but I think we are gonna start our ceviche dinner here Alysha has planned. Ceviches, pico de gallos, all those kinds of dishes where you chop up all the tomatoes and onions. They're good if you make it in advance and then give it a couple hours before dinner to let all those juices sit and kind of come together instead of just having all these individual ingredients stacked on top of each other. So we're gonna get dinner prepared and then get it cooling and go from there. But ceviche for dinner, that is perfect during a hot day. Oh, moment of truth here as well. We gotta check the fridge temperature before we have to start pulling all the little veggies and everything out. It said, assuming our kind of temperature gauge reads right, we put a little mobile one in there, but I hate to admit it, but it was coming in at 13 degrees now, running on propane. So we're gonna open it up and pull the veggies out, and let's see if it's hopefully below 13 at least. I mean, dang, that's extremely far from a temperature you want to be at.
Yeah, how long has it been now since we've like fixed hopefully it?
I don't know, we went in and out a few times. I think when we saw 13 degrees, that was a bit before a crib. So it's probably been like an hour since before we got crib set up, would you say?
Yeah, probably. So it's probably not that long in terms of like RV fridge cooling time, so.
Yeah, because again, the way a fridge works, with the propane at least, is there's a giant tube. Either electric will heat the tube, or the propane flame that we showed you down below heats that tube. When that tube gets hot, so it does have to actually have time to get to temperature. And then when it gets hot, that is what moves the Freon gas or whatever it is, gets it hot and flowing through all your cooling tubes. And that, if I'm not mistaken, I'm no HVAC expert, but that I think is what cools your fridge. So here we go, wish us luck. I mean, it works on electric, so it should be working.
It should be, but it's not. So let's go check it out.
Here we go, moment of truth. 13.8, no! Ah, how disappointing. 13 still, so it's warm. I just popped the cap back off here and the propane flame is still running. So maybe it just takes a couple hours for that to get hot enough to then cool the fridge. How counterintuitive that is at first, I know. But the fire is still running, so maybe it's gonna get something happening eventually here. And maybe you guys out there know what's happening. I mean, it works on electric. It gets really cold. It gets down to almost freezing sometimes in the fridge, not just the freezer. So maybe we need better air circulation from the freezer to the fridge. Maybe there's a fan somewhere I have to clean out inside. I've debated on looking at the fan on the roof and seeing if there's proper airflow through that maybe. But if any of you are out there and you understand either RV fridges a whole lot better than we do, or maybe like you're an HVAC expert or something and you understand heating, ventilation, air, cooling, you could let us know. But that's a bummer. That's way too warm for our ingredients. Thankfully it works on hookups at least, so we can keep camping at hookup sites, which it's kind of nice anyways to have the AC. After being at Bear Creek, Scotch Creek, and all those kinds of places where we can actually have electricity to run the AC during the day, it's been so nice. And then the fridge works great too, of course. But luckily we are getting to the end of this heat wave here. I think we get to like mid 30s today, and they were calling for a thunderstorm. And I think that has moved on and we're just gonna get warmth in the end, and that's probably for the best. Obviously thunderstorms, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the mention of the Lytton fire in the news, so there's been a bit more smoke in the air from that and a few more forest fires going on now that the heat wave's hitting. But this fridge, it's got us troubled. We need that figured out. So if you know, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I guess we'll see what happens from here.
So I'm making a shrimp ceviche-ish for dinner tonight. It's definitely not like authentic Mexican ceviche recipe or anything, but still delicious nonetheless. Just some shrimp. These bees are driving me insane. Okay. Some shrimp, some tomatoes, some red onions. I'm adding some pineapple chunks. That'll be delicious in there. And then some avocado. What else? I guess that's it. And then just marinated in lime juice, lemon juice, and some orange juice. so it should be pretty good. And I'm getting this chopped up so that it can marinate for a couple hours before we eat it tonight. And I think we're gonna be heading down to the beach soon here because it's getting pretty freaking hot. And I mean, Chloe's doing fine, obviously. We're making sure that she's not overheating by any means, but it's getting a little hot, so it's definitely a little bit cooler by the lake breeze. So I think we're gonna head down there with our shaded tent and everything like that, and then, yeah, cool off a bit. It was nice and cool this morning, which was really nice, and we're coming out of the heat wave now, so that's also very nice, but it still is on the hotter side, especially when you're sitting in the sun, like I am right now. And then we'll enjoy this yummy cold ceviche for dinner. God dang it! Get away! Alright, check this out. We got everything we need for a fun afternoon at the beach on the stroller. Got the diaper bag, got some water, our sun tent, we got some blankets and towels down there, and then of course, the most important, Miss Chloe. There's a trail that goes right from the campground down to the beach, and the park list that it takes about 10 minutes to walk down, but it's actually like a pretty steep hill you have to walk down, so it'll be an interesting walk up, that's for sure.
Also on the map though, we see there's different trails to different beaches. The dog beach is completely separate, there's different beaches, and there's some cool rocky hikes up instead of down as well, I think. That's quite what they do in this park.
Yeah, so we're gonna go check some of it out, see how hot it gets, but also get down to the beach and jump in the lake.
There's some pretty nice campsites here. There is no hookups, but I mean you can pull in, a little bit of privacy. The trees aren't super dense, which is kind of nice to not be socked in the forest, but as you can see, there's giant rock hills there. You can climb up there, get a good view of the lake. Like Alysha mentioned for this walkabout, we're pretty high above the lake, so it's a bit of a walk down to it, but that does give you some unique camping options at least here, and pretty cool. Alysha's just consulting with the map real quick because we found a dirt path behind us here that might take you down to the lake, but we want to double check. But we did see there should be a paved path somewhere that leads you directly down. There's another spot where you can drive in and drive down, drop off kayaks and that kind of stuff, but we want to try and find a paved path from the campsite directly to a beach. But look at that view back there of the lake and everything. There's tenting sites like that one right there, for example, behind me. You just could sit right there, have the breeze off the lake instead of being back in the forest where our site is, and just lake for days behind you. Okanagan Lake again too. So pretty sweet spot here. Again, if you need hookups, no hookups for you, but beautiful otherwise. Aha, beach trail. Let's go. So we found the beautiful access path here. Super nice actually, paved. Good view of the lake down there, but I'm not sure if the camera even does this justice, but it is gonna be a bit more of an effort, I think, to push Chloe back up it. Again, like, you're by the beach. There's beautiful beaches here that we've seen pictures of, but you gotta work for them a little bit more than some places. Bear Creek will be camped right on the kind of lakefront there. Nice. This place, you gotta earn your stay. Just reached the bottom of the trail. There is beach 1 there, but everyone seems to already have the shady spot. So we're gonna go check out beach number 2. You can feel that breeze so much more down here over the way.
It's so nice. It's getting a little hot and stuffy. There is a breeze sometimes up at the campsite there, but this breeze coming right off the lake is so nice.
And again, I'm sure if you got one of those campsites on the cliff top, probably get a nice breeze coming up over the hill, but we're in the back corner section, so no breeze for us.
Wow, what an amazing spot. The beach is like pretty much empty. I mean, it is a Monday, so I guess there's not many people using it as like a day use spot, but holy cow. The lake is so beautiful. It's like this blue-green color. We were looking at it walking down. There's like nobody here, and I just tested the water and it feels amazing. So I think we're gonna jump in, and I think we might even try to get Chloe in the lake. We'll see how she feels. Well, it's been a really nice day at the beach here, but we're getting hungry. Chloe's having a nap down there, and obviously I don't want to wake her up to put her in the lake. So it'll have to be a next beach trip we do that we take Chloe in the lake. Yeah, we're gonna start packing up and heading back up and eat that ceviche, because that sounds so good right now.
Big walk up the hill accomplished, and we figured since we're going past the shower house, why not take turns watching Chloe and rinse off, get all the fresh water off us. I said there might be like a swimmer's itch down there, so rinse off just in case, clean up, and then head back to the RV where we can run the AC during generator hour here now. It's like about 7 o'clock right now, and you can run it from 6 to 8, so we figured we'll catch the tail end of that, then the AC can run right up until 8 o'clock, and that should help keep it cool when we get closer to bedtime. Last night we went to bed and we didn't have our AC running as close to 8, and it ended up being like, I think it was a bit over to 81, around 81 degrees Fahrenheit when we were going to bed, even in the evening, and that's a little hot to be going to bed, so hopefully we play it pretty well tonight here at least. And here we find ourselves back from the shower. So we have Chloe in her little crib beside us here, and she's in a smiley good mood, all fed up. But we have sad news to share with you.
You'll notice this is our dinner.
Does it look like ceviche?
No.
It does not look like ceviche. Why is that?
Well, our fridge is still at 13 degrees.
What?
We already had the shrimp thawed in the fridge, which was at 13 degrees, and so we decided to make the ceviche. All the ingredients were going to go bad anyways, even if we didn't make it. So we made it, put it in the fridge, hoping that it would cool down more, and it didn't. And like, it kind of seemed like it would be okay, but ceviche for, I don't know, probably 3 hours in the fridge is at 13 degrees, and then having the shrimp thawing in that fridge, which was higher than like 4 degrees, which is what it's supposed to be at.
Yeah, and I mean, we prepared this out in the sun earlier too in 30-degree temperatures. So it was thawed in the fridge, prepared out in 30 degrees Celsius, and then sat in a 13-degree fridge for 3.5 hours at least.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all the ingredients would have gone bad anyways in the fridge, so it was worth a try, I guess. But
we're just not feeling that adventurous tonight, so burgers sounded a whole lot safer than being sick the next day.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if any of you, again, please, if you have any thoughts, even if you have like an idea of a thought that we haven't thought of, the fire is still running on the fridge, so it's still putting the heat up into the kind of coil there. I just can't figure it. The freezer's still cold-ish. Maybe it's just holding us cold from our last hookup site and last time being plugged in, but... And
like everything in there's frozen, so it's probably easier to hold the cold in, and we don't open it, so anyways.
Yeah, we can't figure it. So if you do have any thoughts, definitely please let us know below, because otherwise we're going to try and find maybe some hookup sites coming up real quick here, because we're going to need some definitely fridge working.
Yeah.
I imagine we're going to have to waste our jug of milk now and toss that sandwich meat we have in there. I mean, that's basically
Luckily,
about it.
We had just like got some groceries for this mini trip that we were going to be on. So yeah, we didn't have to waste a whole lot of stuff, but it just breaks my heart still having to waste stuff.
Yeah, and it sucks because we haven't really had any real big RVing problems up until now. And I mean, I don't know if you call this big. I don't think it's just the heat wave. I mean, it's hot today, but
it's not like that hot. Like,
yeah.
I know that RV fridges are supposed to perform much worse when it's hot, especially when it's like hot in the RV or there's like sun on the side of the like RV where the fridge is. And I know that they're not great if like the ambient temperature around them is not, if it's like really hot, but
Yeah.
the RV hasn't been super hot today, and like, I don't know. It's probably a combination of a bunch of things, which just sucks trying to diagnose like what is actually wrong with it. So yeah.
And again, it works on electric. So thankfully for us, that means we have our Kootenai loop planned. That's still quite a ways in the future, but we have some hookup sites for that. We have a Rocky Mountain loop planned. We haven't let you know about maybe, but we have a Rocky Mountain loop planned. Ooh, yeah. So stay tuned for that coming up soon enough here. Not too soon, but coming up. And again, that is like going to be through all the national parks of Canada and a few other nice provincial parks that are like the really nice ones, and they all have hookups. So for those, we're all sitting fine. It's just kind of tricky when, I don't know, we haven't done any boondocking in a while. That'd be nice to do. And I mean, provincial parks like this where they're beautiful. I mean, the lake's nice. It's a really nice forest area, but no hookups. So it's a bit tricky for those kind of situations. But yeah, for now, burgers. We're just going for an evening walk here with Chloe, trying to get her a little bit more ready for bed after the hamburgers. But look at these deer. Again, this lens doesn't zoom as well as our old one did, but there's 1, 2, 3 deer in there, right in the middle of the park. This is kind of a cool area. We are on the backside of the Okanagan Lake, down from the city of Vernon, if you don't know where Alysha Provincial Park is and you never looked into it. But pretty rural, pretty secluded actually. It's quite farther out than we thought it was. And yeah, deer there, little groundhog type things in our campsite. It's nice here. Surprisingly, there's quite a few open campsites as well. Everywhere it says online is booked, but we've walked past quite a few, and there's some nice looking campsites. You can get the ones right on the cliffside with a good view. You can get the ones like us backed into the forest on the outside loop, and that's pretty good. Nice little walk around in the golden hour, and deer is just a silver lining. We walked past the host site a bit of a ways back there, and they sell ice cream, and they have like a huge setup in front of their site. They must be regulars here that do this kind of thing, hosting year after year, but that's kind of cool. If you're ever here in the daytime, you can go buy ice cream there even. We're now down the road a ways a bit though, and we're gonna walk down to the dog beach real quick. It says it's a sandy beach because we were on a rocky one last time, but look at this. All these far side campsites back onto like chalet rentals. There's one of the corner campsites that's available 1 night or 2 nights. Maybe everyone just cancels and finds a different spot, but you literally pull into your campsite and I could see people sitting inside their chalet like kitchen area. Doesn't that seem weird? Imagine your provincial park site right on the middle of like a vacation rental. Really strange, but hopefully the walk is worth the dog beach at least. It's also just a beautiful night. I don't know what the temperature must be, 25 degrees or something, but it's like the perfect evening temperature, kind of to unwind, get Chloe out. I think she's slowly going to sleep here in the stroller, and then we can call it a night for ourselves soon enough.
Maybe not the most stroller friendly walk ever, but we're almost down there, so we're just gonna tough it out. And this is Chloe's favorite terrain because it's bumpy and it makes her fall asleep, so she's fast asleep now.
So we just found stairs walking down this dog trail.
Of course.
So it may be the dog beach, but it is not baby beach. Not stroller / newborn friendly apparently. So Alysha is gonna hold the little stroller down here, and I'll run you down there quick just to make it worth getting to the end of this trail. But stairs, come on man, it's been a steep hill this whole way. We couldn't have just kept with the steep hill. So, stairs are definitely inconvenient, but look at this. Beautiful and sandy, all the rocks out there. And you can actually see all the way over to where that beach we first saw when we walked down to the beach earlier was as well. It's so nice here. Again, there's no hookups. It's kind of in a bit of an out of the skirt spot from Vernon, but dang, it is beautiful. It kind of reminds us of the coast, like in the Pender Harbor area on the Sunshine Coast maybe, but like just these giant sheer rocks. And then the cliffs and the trees right on top of them. Beautiful turquoise waters. It is so nice here. Dang. Would have been a good spot to catch the sunset as well on the Okanagan Lake, but anyway, checked it out. We came, we saw, we conquered. I'm gonna get back to Alysha with the stroller because she's gonna be missing me. Also, look at this. I seem to have found the Okanagan's Ogopogo. Look at this freaky guy.
Anyways, that's gonna be it from us, guys. We're ready to go to bed.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you know how to fix our RV fridge, do be sure to let us know down below in the comments. Right, Chloe? Yes? Be sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. One like equals one hope that we help to fix our fridge, so we appreciate that if you enjoyed the video and want to see us fix our fridge. Otherwise, we'll be sure to catch you in the next video here. Thanks for enjoying the RV vlog, and we'll see you next time, my friends.
Good night.
Yeah, Chloe says good night too. Night.